Planet X, the announcements begin. You remember Todd Wilson, who brought you the Planet X psychic session? It was so fresh that I called it fresh bread. Well, Todd Wilson has done it again. He sent me a link to a YouTube video, and guess what? The mainstream news is reporting the arrival of Planet X in 2013, but they got the date wrong. Now, if the Nazis tell you that it isn't coming until November, when will you panic? October 31st, right? Now you know the plan. Keep everyone in their homes until May, telling them that it's not going to cause anything catastrophic until November, and then 214 million people remain within 100 miles of the coast, and vada bing, vada boom, you wipe out over 200 million innocent Americans with just a lie. The contract with the reptilians is kept, and the Nazis get advanced technology so they can enjoy the good life, and the dirtbags bite sand. 200 million dead in the U.S. corporation alone, and the reptiles are smiling. Even if the remaining 14 million in the U.S. corporation move, there's no place to put them. This many people moving suddenly into an area will cause many more deaths than if they just stay put and die there. So you can be sure that there will be a mass exodus to leave California, New York, the Carolinas, Virginia, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. The government will declare martial law, and they will be manning the highways, preventing people from leaving their homes. You can count on it. Just think about it for a while and see if you can provide any realistic solution. There is none, and they knew it all along. Not months ago, but decades ago. That's why they built cushy underground bunkers for themselves, and that's why they kept this all a secret from the dirtbags like you and me. All you naysayers were telling me that I'm an idiot for considering the evidence, and you were calling all of us names. A lot of people were considering the possibility of a Planet X to explain all these anomalies. Some of you were even foolish enough to say that you're going to buy up all the coastal properties, and I asked, with what, your food stamp money? They don't let you buy real estate with food stamp money, piano head. Big Mouth, with a government handout, thinks he's going to conquer the world with food stamps, is going to buy up all the coastal properties and bet against a Planet X. And now look what a fool you are. If you don't buy food with your food stamps, you're going to starve, piano head. Talking like some billionaire. But you don't have the funds to buy a roll of toilet paper without a loan, and you're going to buy up all the real estate within 100 miles of the coast? With this newscast, such people look very stupid. I said all along that I was considering the evidence, and I never gave an exact date for anything. I always maintained that the evidence supports Planet X, but I said I wasn't going to believe it. I wasn't going to join any wagon train of belief until I tasted the beef jerky, which means examine the evidence. And I said I would not be a believer until I saw it in the skies with my own eyes. Now we have mainstream media covering the story, playing down the urgency by telling you that you might want to stock up on snacks and beverages. Snacks implies that this is going to be an event that takes place at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and by 5 it's all over, and all you need are snacks. This is misleading the public again. If we need to stock up, brothers and sisters, why not on staples, flour, beans, rice, dry goods? Are we supposed to live on Pop-Tarts for a year? As soon as the puppet president makes the official announcement, all the beer will vanish except light beers. And I'd rather die than drink watered-down, flavorless beer substitute. Putting light beer in your belly is like putting ethanol in your gas tank. They charge you as if you're getting real gasoline, but ethanol has only half the power of real gas. and someone is making a killing by overcharging you for fake gasoline. I have a gas gauge in my car. It tells me what kind of mileage I'm getting, and as soon as I fill up, the thing takes a plunge. That's the ethanol burning first. My mileage goes from 26 miles to gallon down to about 16, and when all the ethanol is used up, my mileage begins to rise. Ethanol is fake gasoline. It has no power. Light beer is fake beer, and friends don't let friends drink light beer. Planet X is real, but your government will never call it Planet X. They're calling it a comet so far, without a name. Do you remember a short time ago when NASA made that announcement and they lied to us, said that Planet X is not real? Now what are they going to tell us, that they were not talking about a planet but a comet? And that's why Planet X doesn't exist? This is like calling counterfeiting money QE1 and QE2. All we ever get from government is lies. Well, now Planet X is real and they don't want to reveal the lie, so they call it a comet, even though it's larger than the Earth. Some people are saying that it's 4 times the size of Jupiter, and this is disinformation. I asked them which university gave them their PhD in astronomy, because it must have been AGU, Al Gore University. The object has a mass of 23 times that of Earth, if the Nancy Leader shorties are correct, and they have always called it a comet. Nancy calls it Planet X, but the Zetas called it a comet. Nibiru and Planet X are nicknames. Nibiru was used by the ancients, according to Zecharia Sitchin. And Planet X, the X means the unknown variable, or the 10th planet. A Roman numeral X means 10. At that time, there were 9 planets. Pluto got kicked out for drinking light beer. You remember that. Anyway, the newscaster looks like Brian Williams to me. His name is not given, but his face is very familiar, and he's one of the most famous newscasters of today. So I think I'm right, but not entirely sure. The Hawk Key Davis channel is not familiar to me, but it appears to be mainstream government-controlled news media, and it seems that they are now breaking with the news about Planet X. They won't stir panic by calling it Planet X. They're just calling it what it is. It's not a planet, it's a comet. I was astounded by the announcement, because up until now, I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure, but I'm sure we can't trust government to tell us the truth. The November date is wrong. I'm sure of that. If November is the official date, then it's like the official 9/11 Omission Commission report. Bogus. It's like the Warren report. Bogus. It's like the official inflation rate. Bogus. It's like the official unemployment rate. Bogus, bogus, bogus. Everything that comes from government is bogus. You get propaganda always, but the truth only when it's leaked. If the government says that November is the month, that's so they can keep you in your coastal home until November, and I think you'll be dead by May, because the pole shift comes sooner than you expected. When you rely on the government to tell you the official news, you're trusting a source which has proven to be misleading time and time again. Remember what they told us about 9/11? It was 19 hijackers with box cutters that brought down 3 buildings with just 2 planes, like magic. Was that the truth or a lie? How many of those alleged hijackers are still alive today? 5? And how many died prior to 9/11? 1? So there we have it. 6 out of 19 couldn't have been on those planes, could they? All we ever get from government is lies. So why should we believe them now? If you trust someone who has lied to you dozens of times in some of the biggest events of the nation's history, you deserve to be lied to again because you're a fool. I'm certain that November is not the month that you should fear most. By telling you it's November, you won't panic until October, and by October you'll already be dead. If there is any reason to stock up on food and drink, Brian Williams is lying when he says you might want snacks and beverages. This is playing down the event and trivializing a catastrophic crossing of an object which is larger than the Earth. Williams tells us that the object will be 15 times brighter than the moon, possibly, and I think this is another lie, because if it's not brighter than the moon, then you don't panic and you don't move, and that's the objective they're trying to achieve, in my opinion. Die where you reside and don't try to cross over into a safer state, because there is no room to put millions of refugees. All the money went into the underground facilities, and there's not room for 214 million dirtbags like you and me. 214 million is 80% of our nation. 80% of the people live within 100 miles of the coast worldwide, and coastal areas will be hit with waves that make December 26th, 2004 look like surf's up, dude, cowabunga. I'm done. Would you like to see the video now? Here's the link. But they got the date wrong. Now, if the Nazis tell you that it isn't coming until November, when will you panic? October 31st, right? Now you know the plan. Keep everyone in their homes until May, telling them that it's not going to cause anything catastrophic until November, and then 214 million people remain within 100 miles of the coast, and vada bing, vada boom. Planet X, the announcements begin. You remember Todd Wilson, who brought you the Planet X psychic session? It was so fresh that I called it fresh bread. Well, you wipe out over 200 million innocent Americans with just a lie. The contract with the reptilians is kept, and the Nazis get advanced technology, so Todd Wilson has done it again. He sent me a link to a YouTube video, and guess what? The mainstream news is reporting the arrival of Planet X in 2013